Hello, hello, welcome in. We're here for some more college games. We got Maryville versus UCI, and Maryville have been looking like the top team we expected. Dominating in game one, dominating in game two. It is a best of five, though. There's always a chance. Maybe there's that upset possibility for UCI to take a game off of Maryville. Right, Dimitri? Possibility?
No comment.
Right now, the reason why we're saying this is just Maryville have been looking like the Maryville we have seen all spring long in the NACL. They are looking so clean, so strong. Every one of their players, I can't go to any player on that team and say, oh, they're doing all right. Every one of them is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're performing really well. I don't think Maryville need to play to like their absolute highest level, especially when we're talking about it. The really important thing when we talk about collegiate and any long-form tournament that is like multiple weeks back-to-back is being able to peak at the right time, making sure that you're playing at a specific level beforehand and you're able to slowly ramp up as the tournament goes on. And talking with Niles and some of the staff over on Maryville, some of the cool stuff that I got to learn was that like this is a lot less pressure, very obviously, than playing in Challengers League. And for Maryville, they have a very heavy schedule. They're a team that participates in a bunch of different leagues. So at the same time of playing in Challengers, they had some of their regular season collegiate matches. They also have to be playing in stuff like the NASTAR League, which they ended up winning very recently. And so there's a lot for them to do. And now that we're in this kind of postseason, they've had a lot of time to just relax. Niles specifically said that they're not really scrimming as much, but they are really just trying to play, as much League of Legends, but that they're staying on top of the meta and they're making sure that they're just kind of tuned in, but they can kind of take a step back, especially since we are pretty early on into the tournament.
But I think having that experience from NACL has been a big gift for them because they were able to do really well. And as you talked about, it's about when do you peak, when do you play to your absolute greatest. They learned a lot of that when it came to NACL and what teams like when they need to really pop off, when they really need to start performing. The reverse sweep against the Skies was amazing to watch. Then they beat Team Liquid Challengers to get into the finals. Unfortunately, they did have to play up against the FlyQuest Challengers team, which arguably is better than some of the teams that are in the LCS. That is how good that team is. But they've just been looking really good for Maryville. And I think that really has led to looking at this as maybe not as high of a pressure situation for them. They're like, hey, we were able to go toe-to-toe with a lot of teams in Tier 2. We are so close to being LCS level. I feel like we got this, and we got draft ready here for Game 3 between Maryville University and UCI. But we are now finally having lanes swapped. UCI opting to go blue.
Okay. Very big change, obviously. We saw two drafts back-to-back that were pretty similar. UCI really opting in for the Callista Thresh matchup, 2 games in a row here. So we'll see what the bans are going to look like. Ash being taken away, we got to see Poppy taken away. I wonder if we're going to see them go back to getting rid of something like the Twisted Fate. And more importantly for me, I've been hampering a lot on their drafts for the last 2 games. What is their priority on blue side? Because now you have options for first pick, and it tells a lot as to what your game strategy is.
I wonder if it's just Callista. They've been first picking that on red side.
We've got Jinx, we've got Draven. What happened? These champions didn't get nerfed.
That's what I'm wondering as well. They just keep prioritizing that Callista. And it does have me worried, but Poppy right now is open, and that's something that I like the flexibility Poppy has, honestly. I think that she's a really strong champion, especially against something like Callista that moves around the map a lot, wants to bounce around the battles. So for Maryville, I think you just go for the same bans here on red side. They don't really need to change anything. Even if they've changed sides, they feel like they still have so much confidence in their team and their players that you can leave open a pick like Varus. You can leave open a pick like Callista, because if UCI pick that, you're gonna get these great 2 picks afterwards.
Oh, there we go.
There we are.
It got auto-completed in. So we got the Vi taken away again. Varus first picked. It looks like we're getting another Callista game. So we're kind of sticking with similar bottom lanes this time, but UG Lee Sin, we're in for a treat. Mechanically speaking, this is going to probably be a very beautiful game coming out from the jungler.
I don't know if you saw the clip I posted on my YouTube of UG last week against Wake Tech having an absolutely absurd flash kick that was able to pick up that double kill in bot lane.
He's playing against Wake Tech. I'm sorry.
No. But the thing is, even with that, it was an absolutely beautiful flash to wall mid kick to make sure to reposition the kick to get the double knock up and get the double kill under turret. It's just UG. Cool. UG's really good at this game, I tell you. And now we got pretty much the opposite. Even though we've changed sides, it feels like the teams are just exchanging what drafts they're going for. Because we have Boris, Nautilus for Gorka and Cerulean this time around. And then we have Scary Jerry on to Kalista, the Renata Gloss for Zyko. You were talking about this a lot before, but it's Maryville who are going to bust it out here on the stage.
Wow, and a Sejuani, definitely a much different look for Mike Young, who has had very big presence in trying to make early game plays. This time setting up. What do we get from UCI? Because I don't think I've seen too many melee mids coming out from Senna. Maybe we get something like the Akali, the Sylas, but those don't necessarily link up with Sejuani all that well, excuse me.
True.
So is this going to be another focus onto a Cassante? Are we looking for some melee mids coming out from Elated, maybe like an Olaf or something like that? We'll have to see. I think Renata is really, really nice here. This is a beautiful champion to be slotted in at this moment. A lot of kill pressure bottom lane, gives you good access, and obviously denial when we get into team fights with those ultimates and the bailout.
So right now, Rumble is still available. Maryville do have the option to take that away from Elated, essentially acting like a sixth ban. And Niles doesn't play that bad of a Rumble either.
Yeah.
There's something they could go for, but instead, getting Spyrex on to this Ahri, something that we have been seeing a lot of this spring, especially out of our mid lane talents.
Okay. So it looks like we're going to get that Cassante blind.
Okay.
What is the answer here for Senna? Now, LeBlanc this time around, I think, is a lot easier to play. You also have the magic. It is okay. So it is banned away. So why did they ban it away? What were they trying to play for? You don't want to play Sylas into LeBlanc or into Ahri? I mean,
yeah.
And LeBlanc. That seems weird to me.
Maybe it was just they were worried that Spyrex was going to grab that. Spyrex has had a mean LeBlanc in the past, so it is one of those things that you're just worried about. And if you're really that worried, especially the Talia, and you have a lot of these dashes now, having Sejuani, Cassante, and Sylas all having that. And it does play into the melee, right? The only thing that's going to be range is Gorka, so it does play a lot into having the Bash Bros, the mid-jungle duo that can move around the map, utilizing that Permafrost passive as much as possible. But then Olaf gets locked in for Niles in the top lane, which can completely negate that stun you have.
Ooh, we're getting Olaf for Niles. Okay. So he wanted to show off a little bit. We had the Twisted Fate game one. He had to play Skarner, so we saw some combos there. He got it towards the end of the game, but I don't think he had to really work too hard for that one considering the game state. So now for Maryville, they're going for an all-out aggressive draft. They're going for a lot of dives. They have a lot of leads. And now into the, I mean, for UCI, this is a situation where this is not a fun game to play Sylas, unfortunately. It was looking good, but Olaf now, and even when I look at, the Renata, you have to be really, really careful. This is going to be a situation where eyes are going to be on this mid laner. I think we've seen a lot of Gorka and Cerulean. They can do some, interesting stuff towards the bottom lane, but for me personally, I want to see a Cynic step up because he's a player who had some really high highs when we saw him first pop out onto the scene. But aside from that, has been somewhat of a average level mid lane player, and I think this is a situation where he does have some tools to be able to actually outplay his opponents.
And if you can outplay Spyrex, that is definitely going to get a lot of people focused on you and get a lot of attention on how you are growing as a player. Because for me, when it comes to a lot of collegiate things, like you said, it's like you can be a mid-tier mid laner now, but you put that effort in, you put that work in, then you could be like Scary Jerry. Last year, people were like, this guy's okay. It was overrated coming in from 2022. And then this year, it's just been popping off, and everyone's like, whoa, this guy with Zyko, absolutely nuts bot lane. And that's what I want to see coming in from Senna in this game 3 for UCI. Zot, everybody. We got the game here. Come on. I believe in UCI, but as we get into the game, Maryville are up 2-0, and they're not the favorites for the tournament for no reason. They are one of the best collegiate teams that we have. Might be their best roster they've ever put together as they now load up onto the Rift.
I don't even think it's just Maryville's best roster. I think it's just probably one of the strongest rosters we've seen.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, this is pound for pound some of the best laners individually and come team fight. Very, very connected. So I'm interested to see what they're going to get done.
Cerulean. Okay, you don't know this, but Cerulean did have a really awesome level 1 kill during the OQs. Playing Thresh, where he flash hooked blind onto the ADC to get first blood for Wang's Revenge. So I was really hoping we'd see that again.
Okay. Well,
really
unfortunately, Wang's Revenge also got owned, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did. But I was just really hoping that was going to be the play. We see the run back for Cerulean there. So I was waiting on bated breath, but I got baited. As everyone else is now moving around the map, we're even seeing possibly, it is definitely a lane swap again.
Ooh, okay. But maybe they're trying to anticipate this. Again, this all comes from can
yeah.
you get early vision onto the enemy?
Oh, they
They're actually
are
going to go for an
totally.
invade? They're going to try and invade
no.
early here.
Oh, no. That's completely read by Maryville. Oh, but did they get spotted out going out? No, they didn't. Trying to peel it back. They got Grillian on the other side. Undertow connecting to get rid of the passive for Sejuani. Completely denying this play. And now it's Sparks on the other side. The handshake connecting. They pulled back in Elated. He tried to dash back, but the flashes are everywhere. But it's going to be First Blood picked up instead by Mike Young. Still getting a little damage from Flash away. Sonic Wave connected. So low is Cerulean flashing for it to pick up 2 kills. So even if you lost First Blood, you're back in this game. Already got level 2 for Yuji. Looking to chase down, but the dash away denies that Sonic Wave.
Well, we were talking about potentially playing through some of our strong laners here. Specifically, Olaf level 1 is very, very good with Ghost available. And while it doesn't go great for Niles individually, it does set up for the rest of his team to be experiencing a lot of influx in gold. Specifically now, Yuji set up for success on this Lee Sin. Doesn't quite have the flash available anymore, but I don't think you're too worried about that when you're a Lee Sin who started off with a kill. Is already doing more of his camps a lot faster than the Sejuani is right now.
Yeah, and honestly, this is just rough for UCI. Yes, they get the First Blood, and unfortunately it goes on to Mike Young, but it's the answer back for Maryville, kind of showing that even with a crazy play like that, that they still have that calm collectedness. Be like, all right, we can still play this one. We can still find the picks. And but they lose 2 flashes, Scary Jerry and Yuji's, which honestly I don't think is that bad, at least for Yuji. Well, they get rid of the Ghost. They flash there for Cerulean. Ghost gone for Gorka. So it gives a little bit of leeway into whatever lane, and with the lane swaps going on for the side of Scary Jerry.
Oh, wait. Yuji can't die here,
No,
actually.
yeah, he can die. He can definitely die.
Oh,
here.
wait. Conquer.
Wait
If
a
he
minute.
procs Conquer, it's
no.
chill.
Oh, no. He's
He
popped
got it. He got
And
it.
the
He got it.
No, Blue Buff's helping him out.
Oh!
Yuji! He's going to get the kill. And now with Senna on the other side, the dash away, but it's going to be the chains missing. Yuji
He
on
gets
play.
out.
The handshake. Back in they go. Looking for the kill. Cerulean dies. They have even the hostile takeover.
GG.
Getting the bail out there.
Go ahead and let's close this game out, guys. Great job from Maryville. Really, really nice. I'm glad that they're just deciding to go for hands checks. They've said, screw it. We're going to make sure that UCI feels our wrath, feels our wallets, and it's already at 2.5 goals. Jesus, man. Yuji, when his team is behind him, they let him facilitate with all of these great carry picks.
Insane.
I mean, again, when you have a player like Yuji, when you have a player like Spyrax and Scary Jerry and the rest of the squad, give them the ball. Just let them run.
Yeah.
These guys will run circles around most of the circuit.
Yuji, he's so good. Please, someone, pick this guy up for LCS. This guy more than deserves it. He is such a good talent. I mean, I don't care if he costs an import slot. He is just so good. He is so worth it. And we are seeing already 5 kills 4 minutes into the game. He has 100% kill participation for Maryville. This game, I wasn't expecting to accelerate that fast, but Yuji's like, Yuji's like, we're setting a record here. We got places to be. Well, Mike Young wants to have a dive to get something back on the map, but spotted out.
Oh, I see. All right, so we're this desperate.
Yeah.
We're this desperate, I see.
I mean, you have to be at this point. You're down already 5 kills. You're down 2.5k. They got the pull on to Scary Jerry with the ignite, but no flash. They get him pulled back in, but the handshake was able to be sun and the bailout into the time. No, not enough flashing forward. Zyko will at least get some kill credit back, but he'll die because he flashed forward and no escape with a kill for Elated.
Wow. And maybe they try to make this play onto mid. Cinna doesn't have
so
flash.
Sonic Wave, dashed away. The Abscond abduct out of there, looking for the chains if he wants to abduct back into that fight. But with that fat minion wave, they can get a nice charm on you and kill you quickly, Cinnamon Bread. You don't have enough health. How did that hit? How did that not hit the minion?
Okay, well, this is like last time when the Skarner ult. I think Maryville just have some secret ins with the code here because they got that Skarner ult that's going to be able to hit. They have this game now where the charm just doesn't land onto the minion there. So Maryville, it seems like fate is in their favor this time around for this game. And despite UCI being able to pick up 2 kills there on the top side, they absolutely needed to go. Because the game was already over, and if that happens, I would definitely not be super surprised if we just see UCI
I thought
just
you were
like play
about to
with
say
some monitors
that
off.
you were going to be really toxic in chat if you were playing this and be like...
okay, yes, because like if I'm in this game allowing UCI and we don't get those 2 kills, I just know the team comms. I'm just going to be saying, guys, it's looking very FFable. Very FFable right now.
Yeah, but this is also game 3. The elimination game for UCI.
Let me lose in peace.
You want to just lose in peace? You don't even want to try to
All
stand your
right,
ground?
we got to make a dive. Come on, come on. We can do
Level
this.
5
We got
Olaf.
so many melee champions.
Ghost.
Olaf has flash, has
Flash.
ghost. He has no ultimate, though.
No ult. Chasing down. Abscond. Duck connecting the flash forward from Cerulean, locking him down forever to pick up a kill for Gorka. It's a much-needed play for UCI.
Okay, it's 3 grubs, and we'll see how many plays they can actually get down in the bottom lane here. Because without making a meaningful amount of gold because of this play, I fail to see. This is really bad for
That's
Cinnamon
a lot of damage. Yeah, you don't want to be here. Thunderbread trying to run away, but you're only level 5. Killing spree for UG.
He lands the Q mid W, so he makes sure that he kills enemy Silas. Oh my god.
He's so good.
It's so beautiful.
There's a reason why I voted this guy MVP pretty much every single split of the NACL while he was in it. This guy is just so good. And now, for UCI, you're down 3,000 gold, 17 minutes into the game. They're diving just the bot lane alone with a heal. The Ren stack, all that comes out.
Kazante
you're
moment.
probably going to die here. Oh, no. A bailout. There it is. Jerry will survive, but the turn actually will take him back in kind.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that Maryville are deciding to have a little bit more fun, yet again. We've been saying this, that they've been having fun all series long, but definitely doing it so here. We're going to see ult versus ult trade.
Yeah, a lot of spirit rushes, a lot more damage out of Spyrex. Senna getting way far back out of that one.
See, I love when both mid laners have this level of mobility. It's like when we had Silas versus Akali as the meta. It's fun when both... Yes! It's fun when both champions in the lane have access to it. It's not like...
Okay, that's what you
one
mean.
champion is playing Orianna and the other one is playing Release Rework Akali. Like,
gotcha, okay.
This is not okay.
I was about to say... Usually people like the opposite because a lot of mid laners don't have that mobility, but that makes more sense when you say when you both have it.
I had to play Xayah Rakan that season, so
yeah,
whatever.
that makes more sense now. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I'm wondering how UCI can get themselves out of this hole that they find themselves in.
I think they're gonna have to find more. They're gonna have to create a residence inside this hole. There's just nothing going on here. Like,
you ever played the Stanley Parable?
I've seen enough of it.
There's the new, one of the new endings that you can jump over the rail and fall into the dark hole where all the computers are, and they have a full residence set up there. I feel like that's UCI at this point. I feel like UCI's got a whole home.
It's the esports lab that they made right after you left.
They should have made that when I was there. You know,
See,
you're
it
right.
wouldn't be a dark, decrepit hole if they
simply
just.
Oh wow, that's a lot of damage already from Spyrex.
Turns out when you are 30 CS up and probably somewhere up like 1,300 gold in your lane opponent, you do extra damage.
Yeah, a lot of extra damage. And poor Silas is way far behind, and back in lane, guess who's here?
We're doing the
Hello,
dive.
UG. They're looking for this. You got the safeguard. That's one dash not getting the charm as they're waiting it out. It's gone.
Oh,
no,
it lands.
Okay. Clearing out the minions. UG. You and I were both like, wait.
At least Q lands are like, oh, well, that's probably a kill right there. Either way, Maryville are less concerned with where the map is right now. They have full control anywhere UG goes.
Dodging away from the chains. One more Spirit Rush charge if he wants to go for the dive. Healing up. Senna trying to get rid of the minions. That's going to be the dive. Looking for a little bit of damage. Needing to go. One more auto attack. It's actually the orb picking up the kill while Mike Young does at least make it a trade. We see a lot of trades while Gorka underneath the dirt, kicked in the face, and they bring back in that support for 2 kills in the spot lane.
There's just a reason why we don't let him have Lee Sin. You don't want to have to ban this champ because it's just not that good. But he is that good on this champion.
Yes, he is.
Now we're seeing a situation where Maryville, they made the early game unstable. They tried to play for early game. They made sure that he got some of those kills. And then he just destabilizes the lane in return. So now top lane, I mean, Olaf is just going to continue to have this. I mean, it doesn't actually matter what Olaf does in this game. What he's going to do is he's going to run at the enemy bottom lane alongside Ahri and Yuji. And they're going to kill whoever they want. And then now you get into a situation where even if you were even in gold, how do we deal with something like a Renata Ultimate or the mobility of all these different champions from the jungle duo?
I got one.
Yeah.
AP Sejuani.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you like that?
AP Sejuani. Yeah. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. AP Sejuani. You said something that will be okay with hostile takeover. You don't have to engage with hostile takeover. That's a lot of damage from range.
I think our broadcast got hostile takeovered by
I think it did too.
W.
I think it did too. But let's get back into this game. It was just a quick pause. I think we're already ready to get back onto the Rift to see this game. But right now, things are looking dicey for my Anteaters. They are struggling here I guess that's also why you see Anteaters eating ants, because that's what they can only really take down, as they got the TV from Senna on the other side, missing the Glacial Fissure.
Here we
getting
go,
flashed
Senna.
away. Hostile takeover stolen away, but connecting onto nobody with the Undertow and the Ragnarok pop. Niall saying, I want these kills. Glory through Valhalla, taking down one kill, healing up as well. Hostile takeover in the bailout. Does he have enough damage? No. Elated will get the kill. They get stuck there from Gorka onto the blast cone, trying to get away, but he knows that Spyrex is ready to save the day and dash forward right towards the wolves, taking the burn damage with like Malignance, and now Spyrex locked in with the charm connecting, dashing over, outplaying with that double kill. As Elated now realizing he's all out. This is a bad situation. Too much damage to deal with. Triple kill for Spyrex.
The only way out is through, is what Spyrex says, and he makes sure that it comes through there, getting an insane amount of gold. At this point, I think UCI may be realizing that the game has been quite over for a time being, but they want to make sure that we're just getting to it a little bit quicker. They want to try to take their skirmishes. I like the idea of the play, but unfortunately, Cinnamon Bread is way too far behind at this point. None of them have damage, and I feel bad because Mike Young going for the Knight's Vow on the Sejuani, which is perfectly fine, but you're protecting champions that do no damage. You have no actual carries aside from maybe Gorka in this instance.
I'm telling you, AP Sejuani.
AP Sejuani, maybe. Maybe if we brought back the flail, right? Where she's able to like, do the AoE around
that
here,
was so
maybe
fun.
that was the case.
With the burn too from Lee Andrews and oh man, you know me.
Yep.
But
so
it's looking rough.
Maybe that was possible. Yeah, this is just a game that is not going to get any easier, and so I think continuing to try to just throw dirt in the face of Maryville, say, are you ready to fight?
Well, they're ready to fight, and they got the pick onto Zyko with no flash or heal. Forced to use the hostile takeover to try to escape. Yuji on the other side. Sonic Wave connects. They could get a triple kick if they want to, but it's only kicking one person away with a Ward Hop. Yuji now has Spyrex, who's showed up into the battle. They're just cycling it around. They're going round and round in circles. Upcon of Duck does connect and gets a kill for Senna, but now they're on the bad side of the rift. They found to the wrong neighborhood. It's all Saints territory here.
This is just domination, right? Like we're getting to a point where Maryville are so far ahead. 13 minutes. It is 20-9. This is looking like a lot of the North games during the regular season, especially in years past, where you are typically playing against much lower opponents. But
wait,
UCI,
they already got all 6 scrubs.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, now mid lane Chain of Corruption with the depth charge, locking down Spyrex. So some shutdown gold, much needed for Gorka.
Cool. This feels like a game where I am not going to be super useful.
No, it doesn't. I think they're just going to fight a lot as Niall's taking a little bit too much damage, picks up the Undertow, but it's sliced down. Other than Tofu strikes. Elated, at least we'll get a solo bowl in the top lane.
Cool. So they got 2 kills in mid and top. It was a shutdown onto Spyrex there. So good gold going back over to someone like Cinnamon Bread, getting him back into the game, but there's still so much they have to deal with, right? Like you said, 6 scrubs already already taken. You now have a dragon that's already been taken here for Maryville. It doesn't get easier from this point. Those 2 kills, they're speed bumps on the road to success here for Maryville, as they're going to continue to pick up items, right? Like right now, Spyrex has 2 items. Cinnamon Red has not finished a single one.
How are we already at a 7K? We're at a 7K gold lead, and the plates just fell.
I don't know what to tell you, man. They stomped the lane so hard that it made it very easy for them to just win the game.
Good control ward there. Was able to dodge away from that, and all the while, Yuji's like, I want to get these objectives, or do we want to get the kills? Yeah, my mind's telling me no.
With the objectives. The objectives allow us to get kills, right? Because the dragon spawns, typically the enemy team shows up, and you have to make a team fight. Or, hey, we have a Rift Herald, we're going to crush it into their turret. Typically, they're going to want to defend it. Might as well take a team fight.
Well, they took the turret in top lane. Niall's going to get that for free. Having already got that Ravenous Hydra as well. Going to be really tough to actually get him out of the lane now. You're going to have to send a couple more people, even if he's 1 and 4 on Olaf. Doesn't matter. It's Olaf. Now he's a strong side laner. 6 scrubs on their side.
I mean, it doesn't even matter that he's playing Olaf. It just matters that his team's so far ahead. It doesn't matter. Psycho. Cool.
Didn't even bail out.
We're just doing the things that, you know, hey, we're so far ahead, we're allowed to walk wherever we want. UCI say that's not necessarily the case. You do still have to respect us in some instance. Maybe we see a fight over this. Scary Jerry with cleanse.
Bot lane fighting each other, but he's just kiting it away. Then he does pick up the kill with the Ren. It's a 1-for-1. Both ADCs are down. Now a TP Spyrex having to use the double dash away, getting the triple so far out of the battle, but Niles in the thick of it with Yuji, taking a lot of that aggression, will fall to the first casualty. But they still have to be careful, because now they're re-engaging with the dredge line, the flash from Yuji to try to survive. Double dash out of Senna, but it's going to be the Warthog. Does not help out, because they got the tag there with the chains, getting the shutdown for Senna. Now it's Spyrex, and guess who's back in the battle? Zyko, who died at the very onset of it all. He's rejoined. No. 2v1-3. They're getting a lot of damage there, but it will be elated, at least kiting it back, trying to save the team for now. A lot of attack damage, not getting the Q out of Spyrex, but having enough, or is it? Elated, still dashing away. The charm, make sure that dash does not help.
All right, Maryville, we do a little trolling. Just for the boys. Like, everybody's going for 1v1s. We're making mechanical misplays here. UCI, they get a little bit of gold back. It does shorten up some of that gold lead, but I think this is less on UCI making a good pick and being able to start fight, and Maryville kind of playing outside of the lines there. They're trying to color outside of the coloring book. They're doing having a little bit of fun here.
They're making their own drawing
making plays. Exactly. And they're going to make some mistakes. I think they're going to continue to recognize that we've taken 2 games, both pretty dominant wins. We can kind of mess around here. Now, I will say, it does feel a little bit bad if you're UCI. It's like a false glimmer of hope for them. And then it's
very false right there, because that's a lot of damage on Ascena with the TP. But the dash from Spyrex and getting that orb to connect with Yuji. Body blocking as much attention. Same with that Glacial Prison. They're trying to burst down Elated, but he's still tanky while we go back into the mid lane. That's a lot of spears on to Cerulean, but doesn't die him. But it's going to be bot lane that falls. Jesus. Double kill for Spyrex. Mid lane as well. The fight continues. Bailout's there to help out. Scary Jerry survive. Picking up kills all across the rift for Maryville.
Yeah, that right there. If that's not the nail in the coffin, I just don't know what is going to be at this point. Even Niles coming on over here. He's like, oh, is there maybe like a Nautilus I could try to go for? But yeah, they're not able to do much. They got the TP out from Elated. It just sucks for UCI. I feel bad. Again, this was a team that we'd come into the series. Yes, they were slated to lose, but it is a team that still has a lot of prestige outside of the collegiate space in terms of League of Legends, and of course, obviously, when we're talking about being former CLOL champions. It's just something that is so rare, and especially when we have teams that have done it multiple times.
Yeah. Having both teams that have won in the past, but just how good Maryville are. You just get to see that every time Spyrex landing those charms. He's 14-2. 14 for Ari at 18 minutes. Almost a kill a minute for one player.
Maybe there's a reason we just don't give Spyrex Ari.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like those times that we get, the special treats of like a Yone from him.
Yeah.
And obviously, is a player who did kind of take, I think, a little bit of a backseat this series, right? Had some games that were okay, but definitely wasn't the main focus. And this time around, we're getting to see it. I feel like every single one of these players, talked about it in draft, getting moments to kind of stand out in their own individual ways, where it's this time Spyrex and Yuji, the mid-jungle duo for this team, that are just absolutely clapping everybody that walks up on them.
And that's kind of the treat we've gotten in this series, that there is a game that you can point out for each player that they played insane, right? Every player, they're like, okay, Niles did a great job in games 1 and 2 on the Twisted Fate and the Skarner. This game, he's doing his job, which is kind of creating chaos and allowing his team to carry from there. This game, well, I mean, pretty much all games, we've seen Yuji really pop off, and same with Zyko. Even if Zyko's gotten caught out a couple times, he's done a great job with finding hooks like that onto Mike Young. They didn't get the dredge line, but a triple knockup, hostile takeover. He ain't going nowhere there. Cerulean and all the wild Scary Jerry solo kills the mid laner. Yuji diving in. Nobody's escaping this one. They're flashing for these ones. Come back in this one, Elated. Yuji diving into the base. Takes out Cerulean. They've got Elated. That's going to be a clean ace for Maryville.
Wow, 13,000 gold. They're going to go through top lane as we see Olaf is going to be trying to end this game.
That was a 4v5.
I don't know if they're going to be able to end on this push just because of death timers and how long it's taken them to try to crack these open. They still have a Rift Herald. Maybe they go for Dancing Shelly.
Oh, okay. Cerulean's about to come out.
No.
Gorka's there as well. They're both going to respawn, but that's going to be the double charge from Shelly, getting a lot of damage. That's how they can take it quickly. Fate's Call getting the knockup, trying to deny. Dancing Shelly might be here as they go for the dive onto Cerulean, flashing away, but they pin them underneath their fountain, making sure they can't get out of this one. This game, this series, it's Maryville. They're your favorites for a reason, and they dominate with Dancing Shelly.
There it is. Maryville doing in 2014. as the final game time. A 3-0, not unexpected, and definitely what we want to see from this team, who have been ramping up all year. They got a second place finish over in Challengers League, and it looks like they want to try to change that fate this time around and get that first place championship.
They're tired of getting either top 2 or top 4. That was last year. They got, I think, second place. Year before that was top 4. Year before that was top 2. It's been since 2019 since Maryville has won CLOL, and they definitely are showing why they are favorites to win it this time around. We are going to toss to a break so we can have an interview with the victorious Maryville University, so don't go anywhere. Hello, hello. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm here with Zyko, the victorious Maryville University. 3-0, crushing it. Dude, you looked so good in that game. That game won Nautilus. I think you missed maybe one hook that entire game. So just tell me how it feels. I got to get that first. How does it feel to get in that 3-0?
Well, it feels good to do as expected, I would say. 3-0 in like 25-minute games.
I mean, I'm a little sad. You beat my alum. So, yeah, you absolutely crushed it. I had to rep the alum, but I figured that Maryville, you guys have been so good this year. And I kind of want to talk about like the team environment and how it really feels going into this year. Because last year, you know, with Maryville University and the NACL, you guys did struggle. But I've been so impressed by you and Scary Jerry and how you guys have really grown. You were already doing well last year, but it feels like you two have become like perfectly in sync. So kind of walk me through how was the offseason going into the NACL this spring and then into CLOL?
During the offseason, we just all took a break because we've been playing year round, and we were definitely really exhausted from playing. So we just had to get ready for tryouts in January, and we did great, and we like talked things out and stuff like that, and then boom, it just clicked. It just like something just clicked, and then
yeah, I would say you guys have been looking so good, and it's been so awesome to see your guys' performance, how you go into 2024 and dominate. So the next thing is kind of comparing NACL to CLOL. Obviously, CLOL, especially the beginning stages, not quite as serious as NACL. But I kind of want to get your opinion of like, how does it feel going from something in the tier 2 with the NACL, getting second place, now going here into CLOL, especially for Maryville, a team that has been trying so hard to win since the last time they won in 2019.
I would say like the competition like does feel a lot easier in CLOL, but like the way that like CLOL plays from like NACL is like really different. Like as you see like in these games, like their jungler is just like always perma bottom to like mess with like me and Jerry. So which is like not like something like really common in tier 2.
Right.
Like they will do their clears, blah blah, but like it just feels like the world is out to get us. It's like me and Jerry. So
they try and try again, and it feels like it doesn't matter because you guys eventually either scale or you just beat them in the 2v3 because you guys have been doing so good.
yeah.
And so the next thing is looking at the teams here in CLOL. What are some teams that you kind of are looking towards as possible competition later down the line?
I would definitely say SLU is probably the biggest one, and then UST has a really solid roster, and Winthrop and Ole Miss, you know, those teams.
That's fair. That's fair. So now the real question is, who do you think out of those 4 teams is going to face you in the finals if you guys get there?
I would say most definitely SLU for sure.
Ooh, all right.
I feel like they've gotten a lot better this time around, so I can't wait to face them again in the finals.
I can't wait to see you guys face them as well. I'm excited. You've been doing such a great job, Zyko. Like I said, I'm so proud of you and your performance, how you've grown as a player. So any shout-outs you want to give to anyone out there while I have you?
I'd like to just shout out my teammates, the program, for being great and awesome. My friends and family for supporting me. And yeah.
Well, thank you, Zyko. You have a good rest of your day, and good luck in the future for CLOL as well as going into summer of NACL.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring back in Alk Battery here, get ourselves ready. It was a great day. We had a 3-1 earlier in the day. Northwood taking that one. A bit surprising. I think a lot of people had that as a 3-0, but there was a good upset there from Western Ontario that were able to kind of make it more of a series in game 1. But this series, Maryville, they're so good. I can't say that enough. I feel like I'm a broken record. It's just, how can a team be this good in collegiate? It is insane.
It's also the consistency, right? And again, that goes back to some of the leadership at the program and their ability to maintain players. I think a lot of it also comes from the reputation, right? Like you have a bunch of high elo players that have played at this level, played at this college, and so they're bringing other high elo players who want to say, hey, look, you have someone like Spyrax on your team, or you have someone like Scary Jerry and Zyko. That makes me want to go play at your college. That makes me want to at least go and try out and see if maybe I can get on this team. So it is, kind of like it feeds into itself if you continue to build up that legacy and that kind of awesome stuff. That's also why we have to see so many other teams like those top 4 that are also bringing in really high value names because other people want to play with players like Surdy. People want to play with players like Shogo.
And I'm hoping that we continue to see this growth through many different organizations and different programs in collegiate because it does lead into a lot of potential futures for a lot of these players and makes me really excited. But speaking of the future, I think we should look at the bracket and what we have looking forward to us tomorrow as well as next week. You can see that from the bracket. Maryville moving on with that 3-0. They will face off against Fisher or CU Boulder. Which team do you think is going to face them in that quarterfinals?
I had Fisher 3-1 over Colorado Boulder. That was my prediction when we had talent and predictions going in. So I'm still going to kind of stick with that. That stream is going on over on Running the Rift, which we are going to be throwing to after this show. But yeah, that is the team that I expect for them to take it. That's also the bracket that I think I made when for Salty Runback, which they did post a bracket maker, which I think you can still access and kind of make that one, still post it on Twitter, get your little brownie points there.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. I definitely have Fisher at a 3-1 against CU Boulder. But CU Boulder is a team that has pulled off some wacky upsets in the past, so you can't ever count them out.
Sure.
And speaking of not counting anyone out, I think we should look at what games we have for tomorrow as well. We were talking about what we have already currently going on at Running the Rift. You can see Fisher versus CU Boulder. If you want to go check that out, we are going to host them in a little bit. But then tomorrow, we have some awesome games still here on the Salty Runback pod. We started off with USC versus PNW Pacific Northwest. And then you and I will be back for Ole Miss up against, wait, why am I spacing on that?
Oklahoma Christian.
There it is.
Oklahoma Christian.
Thank you. I just see an eagle. I'm like, wait a minute.
What is this? This is not Winthrop.
I know. I almost said Winthrop. Like, wait a minute. That's not. Winthrop is going to be on the Winthrop Esports channel. So you can actually see that at the very bottom.
Yeah, these are all going to be happening. Some of these are going to be happening concurrently. Over on Running the Rift, they're going to be having the St. Clair Saints up against Ottawa, and then at 2 p.m. PT, it is rolling start, so depending on the end of that first series, SLU versus UCSD. I think a lot of matchups here are going to be probably the most one-sided one that we're going to see is going to be the SLU versus UCSD, unfortunately. But we do have a lot of close games here. I think for me personally, the closest ones for me are probably going to either be the St. Clair versus Ottawa or actually this the UST Purdue Northwest. I do still have UST making it out of that game, but Purdue I think are a team that maybe slept on a little bit and have shown some good things. But USC have a lot of great players, and individually, I just think that they still need to kind of rein it in.
I mean, the thing is, USC is the back-to-back CLOL champions coming into this one. Could be a third one in a row if they're able to get back there, but I think I agree with you that going up against Purdue Northwest is going to be a good test of USC and see how they're going to do in this bracket, if they are going to even be able to contend and run it back for another attempt at the title, another attempt at the championships. But for us, that is going to actually do it for the stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We want to thank our sponsors really quick before we head out. Gen G, thank you so much as well. We wanted to give a huge shout out to Ole Miss for helping out the stream. It's really helped out. Also, all of you who have helped donate with the GoFundMe. You can see the link down below. You see that ticker at the top there? Those are all the donors that we have so far that have been really helping us out. Thank you again for everything that the community has done in order to allow us to bring this collegiate League of Legends to your screen and let you all watch it with the casters. And speaking of those donors, we got to start off. Raz with a nice 500. Same with Garrett Marison. Benton Patterson giving 500. We got JT Tiza giving 500. Greg also giving help, a lot of help there with 300. Polestar 300. Sandor Howe gave a 300 as well. Sean Shannon giving 235. Clarkey giving 200. Powell Weissman giving 200. Manny, we got Manny out there. Manuel Sanchez, 150. Colomer as well, 125. Gordo, 100. John Yanni giving 100 as well. We got Slayer there. Leo Silverman giving 100. Shivnet Sherman giving 100. Angie giving another 100. And we even have Quacks and Beatdown giving another 100.
There we go. We got Dakar, actually one of the head TOs for this tournament, giving 100. Ian Ford with 100. Kyle, which I'm going to assume is Kellex, is giving 100. We've got Ryan Teo, who, if I remember, is RMC, giving 100. Yes. Aaron Lee, which I'm pretty sure is also... I'm not going to actually say the same because I forgot who it is. Alan Ignacio, Peter Erickson giving 100. Andrew Franklin, someone who was on the DK crew, 100. Tiffany Tran or Ryoklu on Twitter. Beverly and Josh Sides or Bo over at Winthrop giving 100, all of them. And all of our anonymous donors who either donated 500, 250, or 100. All of you are awesome. This goes to all of our donors. Thank you again for giving so much money. And again, if you want to be able to donate, the donation link is going to probably be in the Twitter. It's going to be going all month long as we get through this entire collegiate championship. So do not be afraid. If you can't donate, that's okay. Make sure to share the link so we can continue to bring more and more of the action.
And thank you for joining us here. Even just joining us is a lot of support for us here in order to bring this to you from the Salty Runback podcast. But we are going to end it here, and we're going to toss it over with a host, a raid for the Running the Rift, because they still have some series going on. They're going to have that. So we'll check that out and see you all tomorrow.